The Daily Stoic Reflections. Greetings to all of you. There's a well-known saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This means that the people around us not only influence our thoughts and emotions, but also shape who we are over time. Friends can be a source of motivation that helps us grow, pushing us to become the best version of ourselves. But there are also those who bring negativity, leaving us tired, drained, or even hindering our progress. What's important is not having many friends, but having quality friends, those who can walk with us on our journey of growth, uplift our spirits, and respect our values. Therefore, choosing the right friends is one of the most crucial decisions in life. In this video, we'll explore 5 types of friends you should consider cutting ties with, not out of hatred, but to protect your inner peace, steer clear of toxic relationships, and maintain your self-worth. Let's begin. Type 1, the friend who always asks, only takes and never gives. In any relationship, there needs to be a balance between giving and receiving. However, there are some people who only know how to take, who come to you only when they need something but never show up when you need them the most. They may often borrow things, ask for money, or request help, but when you're in a difficult situation, they disappear without a trace. Or worse, if you ask them for a small favor, they'll find ways to avoid it or come up with a dozen excuses to refuse. Have you ever met someone like this? Someone who always says, I'm in a tough spot, help me out this time, but when you need help, they never respond. People like this are not real friends, they see you as a resource to exploit. If you continue to maintain a relationship with them, you will gradually feel exhausted, lose faith in friendship, and sometimes even feel burdened for constantly helping without receiving anything in return except indifference. A historical example, Lubuletin, the one who always seeks help but never shows loyalty. One historical figure known for ingratitude and only taking was Lubuletin. Lubuletin was a talented general during the Three Kingdoms period, but he was never loyal to anyone. Whenever he met someone who could provide him with benefits, he would join them, using their help. But as soon as a better opportunity arose, he would turn around and betray them without hesitation. First, Lubuletin was raised by Ding Yuan like a son, but when Dong Zhou bribed him with the famous red hair horse, he immediately killed Ding Yuan to join Dong Zhou's side. Later, Dong Zhou suffered the same fate when Lubuletin betrayed and killed him to side with Wang Yun. Finally, when Lubuletin joined Cao, he again tried to betray him. But this time, Cao understood Lubuletin's nature and decided to execute him rather than offer him another chance. Lubuletin is a typical example of someone who only takes and never gives, always seeking help but never remaining loyal. And his end? No one wanted to help him anymore, and he was punished by those who had once helped him. How should we handle people like this? First, set clear boundaries and learn to say no. If you have a friend like Lubuletin, don't let them take advantage of your kindness. You can do the following. Set clear boundaries. If they frequently borrow money or ask for help, set a rule: I can only help once, I can't keep doing this. Learn to say no, politely but firmly. You can say, I'm also going through a tough time, I hope you understand, or I can't help you this time. Re-evaluate the value of the relationship. If you feel this friendship only drains you and lacks sincerity, consider cutting ties. Remember, true friendship should be based on mutual respect and sharing. Don't let your kindness be used as a tool for others to exploit. Type 2, the friend who likes to manipulate your mind. There's a type of friend who doesn't directly harm you, but instead gradually makes you lose trust in yourself. They don't need to shout at you or publicly insult you. Instead, they use subtle psychological tactics to make you question yourself, feel confused, and slowly lose your confidence. They might always blame you when something goes wrong, even when it's clearly not your fault. Make you feel like you're not good enough, always wrong, or useless. Constantly deny the truth, making you doubt your own memory and emotions. This is the type of psychological manipulation, a form of emotional control that makes you lose trust in yourself. If you feel exhausted, confused, or always feel like you're the one at fault after talking to them, it's a sign that you're being psychologically manipulated. A historical example of psychological manipulation, the story of Banquin and Sun Zi. A classic historical example of psychological manipulation is the story between Banquin and Sun Zi during the Warring States period. Sun Zi and Banquin were close friends, both learning military tactics under the tutelage of Guigu Zi. However, when Banquin felt that Sun Zi was more talented than him, he couldn't accept it. Rather than openly confronting Sun Zi, he used more subtle psychological manipulation to bring down his friend. Initially, Banquin pretended to invite Sun Zi to the state of Wei, promising wealth and honor to gain his trust. When Sun Zi arrived, Banquin immediately found ways to harm him, accusing him of betrayal. He ordered that Sun Zi's kneecaps be shattered, rendering him unable to walk, robbing him of the chance to become a general. Not stopping there, Banquin feigned sympathy and arranged for caretakers to look after Sun Zi, but in reality, it was just to control and manipulate him mentally. Had Sun Zi not realized the truth and found a way to escape, he could have fallen into despair and lost his will to fight. But thanks to his wisdom and resilience, Sun Zi pretended to be mad to escape Banquin's control, later becoming a great general of the state of Qi, causing Banquin to face disastrous consequences at the Battle of Maling. The story of Sun Zi is a clear reminder: psychological manipulators can be friends, colleagues, or even close relatives. If we don't recognize them early, we might lose ourselves. How to recognize a psychological manipulator? Do you have a friend who makes you feel insecure and question yourself? Ask yourself. Do you always feel like you're wrong, even though you're not sure? Every time you argue, do they make you feel guilty without understanding why? Do they deny the truth or make you feel like there's something wrong with your memory? Do you feel less confident, always fearing judgment? If you answered yes, you might be dealing with a psychological manipulator. Manipulators are skilled at making you feel like you're wrong, causing confusion and making you lose your own perspective. How to handle this type of person? First, document specific events. Write down what they've said or done that makes you feel insecure. Record your feelings to realize that you're not imagining things, but that there is indeed a problem. Have direct conversations, don't let them control you. When they try to blame you or manipulate, say, "You just said it was my fault, but actually, you're also responsible for this. You're denying the truth, but I clearly remember what happened." Set clear boundaries. If they continue manipulating you, create distance. You can say, "I feel uncomfortable when you keep making me doubt myself. If you continue like this, I think we should keep some distance." Learn to trust yourself. Once you realize you're being manipulated, don't let negative emotions pull you down. Trust your own memory, feelings, and thoughts. If needed, consult a trusted person to get an objective perspective. Psychological manipulators are like a sweet poison. They might seem very kind at first, but over time, they make you lose yourself. Remember, a true friend will help you feel more confident, not make you constantly doubt yourself. If someone always leaves you feeling exhausted and confused after every conversation, it might be time to reconsider that relationship. You deserve friends who are honest, respectful, and supportive, not those who exploit your mind to control you. Type 3, the indifferent friend, never initiates contact. Have you ever experienced this situation? You are always the one who initiates texting, making plans, and showing interest, while they only respond superficially, sometimes not even bothering to reply. You try to maintain the friendship, but all you get is indifference and coldness. If you do not take the initiative, the relationship will gradually fade away. This is a one-sided relationship, when you always try to build bridges, while the other person does not make an effort to maintain the friendship. Have you ever wondered, why do they never initiate contact with you? In fact, there are many reasons why someone never initiates contact with you. They are indifferent. Some people simply do not realize the importance of maintaining a relationship. They do not have bad intentions, but they also do not really care about your feelings. They are busy. Work, family, and personal life may not leave them with the time or energy to stay in touch. However, if they truly value you, they will still make time, even if just a little. They don't value friendship. This is the saddest reason, but it is also a hard truth to face. For them, this friendship may not be as important as other relationships, and you are just the person they contact when they need something. They know you will always make the first move. Some people become passive because they know that, no matter what, you will be the one to contact them. They lack the motivation to make the first move because you have done everything for them. There are many historical stories of unrequited friendship, but one of the most notable examples is the relationship between Cao and Yuan Shao during the Three Kingdoms period. When they were young, Cao and Yuan Shao were very close, growing up together and swearing brotherhood. But as they grew up, the differences in their personalities made the relationship one-sided. Cao was always the one who tried to build an alliance, trying to maintain a relationship with Yuan Cao. But Yuan Cao was indifferent, did not value the relationship, and even looked down on Cao. When Cao needed help in the campaign against Dongzhou, Yuan Cao hesitated and did not immediately offer support. On the other hand, when Yuan Cao needed help, Cao still tried to support him. However, the imbalance in the relationship became more and more obvious. Eventually, Cao realized that Yuan Cao did not truly value their friendship, and he decided to stop expecting anything from him. What was the result? When they became rivals, Cao defeated Yuan Cao in the Battle of Guandu, and Yuan Cao became weaker and lost everything. This story teaches us one thing: a one-sided relationship cannot last forever. If someone does not value you, it is best to let go before you get hurt. So, how can you recognize an indifferent friend? If you have a friend who you are always the one trying to maintain contact with, ask yourself: are you always the one who texts first? If you do not contact, do they ever contact you? Are they interested in your life, or do they only respond superficially? Do you feel lonely in this relationship? If the answer is yes, then you may be maintaining a one-sided friendship, and it is time to evaluate whether this relationship is worth continuing. A friendship can only last if both people make an effort to maintain it. If you are always the one making the first move, while they never show any interest, then the relationship is no longer a friendship but a one-sided effort. Remember, you don't need a long list of friends, you just need a few people who truly care and appreciate you. Instead of wasting your time trying to keep someone who doesn't care, Invest your time in people who truly appreciate you. Type 4, the friend who only talks about themselves, turning conversations into their own stage. I think you've probably met someone like this. Every time you meet, they talk non-stop about themselves, their work, accomplishments, struggles, and emotions. But when it's your turn to share, they only listen half-heartedly or interrupt to continue talking about themselves. No matter how hard you try, the conversation always revolves around them. Each conversation becomes no longer a two-way exchange, but a one-person show, where they are the main character, and you're just an unwilling audience. And the worst part? After hours of talking about themselves, they might forget everything you just shared. Why do they always want to turn conversations into their own stage? People who only talk about themselves usually have the following traits. Egotistical, love attention. They want to be the center of attention, so any topic must relate to them. Lack of listening skills. They're not interested in other people's feelings, they're only focused on their own stories. Fear of being forgotten or lack of self-confidence. Some people talk excessively about themselves because they fear no one cares about them. They use words to create value for themselves. But in doing so, they inadvertently lose the real connection in relationships. They're unaware of what they're doing. Some people truly don't realize they're dominating the entire conversation. Whatever the reason, a relationship that revolves around one person can never be sustainable. If you can't share your thoughts, you'll feel forgotten and disrespected. A real-life example, Napoleon Bonaparte and one-sided conversations. Napoleon Bonaparte, the famous emperor of France, was not only known for his military genius but also for his habit of having one-sided conversations. Once, a diplomat came to meet Napoleon to discuss a military alliance. But instead of having an exchange of ideas, Napoleon monologued for over an hour about his victories, the brilliant strategies he'd applied, and his opponent's failures. The diplomat could hardly get a word in. When the meeting ended, Napoleon patted him on the back and said, "I really enjoyed talking to you. You're a great listener." This is the perfect example of a one-sided relationship, where one person only cares about themselves and doesn't pay attention to the other. Think about it, are you in a friendship like this? So, how do you deal with a friend who only talks about themselves? Share first. Don't let them dominate the conversation from the start. Talk about your own story first, putting them in the position of the listener. Set clear boundaries. When they interrupt, say, "Hold on, let me finish first. I have something to share too, could you listen for a moment?" Ask them to listen. If they keep dominating, be honest and say, "I feel like every time I speak, you change the topic to yourself. I would really like to have a two-way conversation." Limit the time you spend with them. If you realize they never change, gradually reduce the time you spend with them. Friendship is a two-way connection. If you're always ignored, it might be time to find friends who truly listen to you. Finally, a meaningful conversation must come from listening on both sides. If you're always the one listening while they endlessly talk about themselves, stop and ask yourself, do I really matter in this relationship? Remember, friendship isn't just about having someone to talk to, it's about having someone who's willing to listen to you. Don't hesitate to reclaim your position in the conversation, and if needed, step out of relationships that only make you feel like a shadow in someone else's world. Type 5, the friend who likes to put others down, making you feel small or inadequate. Have you ever met a friend with whom every conversation makes you feel worse about yourself? They might not openly insult you, but they always find ways to belittle your achievements, undermine your confidence, and make you feel small with subtle remarks. You share a recent accomplishment? They'll say, "That's nothing special, others are much better." You excitedly talk about a small success? They'll respond, "And you're proud of that? There's nothing to brag about." You try something new? They'll mock you, saying, "Are you sure? It doesn't seem like something for you." Gradually, they make you feel inadequate, not good enough, and you start doubting yourself. Recognizing the friend who puts others down. There are two types of people who tend to do this: the comparer and the envious. They can't stand it when you're better than them, so they try to bring you down to make themselves feel superior. The negative critic. They always focus on finding flaws in others but never offer encouragement or acknowledge effort. No matter which type they are, they share the following traits. They always compare you to others in a way that makes you feel inferior. They use sarcasm or indirect remarks to devalue you. They never truly congratulate you on your success. If a friend consistently makes you feel like you're never good enough, be cautious, you might be getting pulled down without even realizing it. A classic example of a friend who puts others down: Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla. One of the most notable examples of this kind of person is Thomas Edison and his treatment of Nikola Tesla. At first, Tesla worked under Edison, and he had a great deal of respect for him. But instead of recognizing Tesla's talents, Edison often belittled and downplayed his inventions. When Tesla introduced the idea of alternating current, AC, Edison ridiculed it, calling it dangerous and impractical. Rather than supporting or encouraging Tesla, Edison continuously tried to bring him down, even going as far as using media campaigns to tarnish Tesla's reputation, costing him many opportunities. However, what's remarkable is that Tesla didn't let those demeaning remarks defeat him. He continued to believe in his ideals, and eventually, the alternating current, AC, technology he developed became the foundation for the modern electrical system. Tesla's story is a lesson: the belittling remarks from others don't define your worth, only you can do that. Distinguishing between genuine advice and negative criticism. Not every comment made by others is intended to bring you down. It's important to distinguish between genuine advice and negative criticism. Genuine advice, aimed at helping you improve and is constructive. Offers solutions or suggestions to help you grow. Doesn't make you feel inferior, instead, it helps you progress. Negative criticism. Makes you lose confidence and doubt yourself. Doesn't offer any solutions, only focuses on criticism. Always makes you feel smaller than they are. If someone truly cares about you, they will encourage your growth, not make you feel like you're not good enough. What to do when you meet a friend who puts others down? Recognize the issue. Pay attention to whether they frequently make you feel inadequate. If their negativity affects your self-esteem, it's time to reassess the relationship. Maintain your confidence. Don't let their words define your worth. Remember, successful people aren't those who never get criticized, but those who don't let criticism stop them. Confront them. If they continue to belittle you, be direct and say, "I've noticed that whenever I share something, you criticize or compare me to others. It makes me feel disrespected." A true friend will respect your feelings and adjust their behavior. Cut ties if necessary. If they keep making you lose confidence and doubt yourself, be brave enough to walk away from the relationship. You don't need to be around people who only pull you down, find those who appreciate and support you. A good friendship should make you feel more confident, stronger, and acknowledged. If someone is always putting you down and making you feel inadequate, they're not a real friend. Remember, a true friend is someone who lifts you up, not brings you down. Don't let anyone make you forget your worth. If you have a friend who always makes you feel small, it's time to set boundaries or walk away to protect your self-confidence and inner peace.